Two, mixture of two different. Okay. Alloy. Example for the alloy. Hmm? See, mixture of two different materials. Alloy. Exactly right. Yes. Give an example. If you are giving me an example, definitely I would understand you have a thorough knowledge about this. See, this is the difference in mass and knowledge. Definitely you got mass now, but now I am expecting the knowledge from you because you got mass. Because I am asking you what is an alloy. It's a mixture of two different metals. Yes, definitely it is right. Give an example for this. Hmm? This is for the knowledge purpose. Hmm? Please, can you give the example for this? Anybody? If I am asking, hmm, right.
Aluminum, magnesium, sir.
What? Hmm.
Aluminum or magnesium.
Ah, these are what? This is alloy or alloying elements. See, we have to.
Alloying element. Alloys,
Yes,
alloys.
alloys. Huh? Alloying elements or alloy?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
These are alloys.
Huh?
Alloys, alloys. Alloys, sir.
Now, what your definition is? What you are saying? Your answer is mixture of two. That is what alloy. You only can say that, nah? But then you are now saying it is aluminum, magnesium. Aluminum, magnesium. Aluminum is two or one.
Sir, steel.
Huh?
One, sir.
Huh?
Steel.
Huh? Yes, sir.
Steel.
Yes, right, exactly. This is right. See, don't get confused. We have to understand thoroughly. So I don't know whose name. He said the answer is right. The mixture of two elements or mixture of two metals, which we can call it as a alloy. Alloy means it's a mixture of two elements. This is right. For this, you can give me an example. I am asking. Steel now, I don't know who is given. That is also right answer. But one fellow is said that example of alloy is aluminum and magnesium like. See, don't get confused. Just you can think the definition. That definition, what it is a mixture of two elements. Then how can this aluminum and magnesium are example for the alloy? Yes, I'm right. Huh? Right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? That's what steel is the right answer.
Yes, sir.
Steel is the right. Yes, I can take it here. Steel is the best example. It's the best example, definitely. It's the best example for the alloying. Many of them are working in the JSW, I think. I think so. But what we are now manufacturing the steel now for quality of the steels and uh, kinds of the steels. So many kinds of the steels which we are going to manufacturing in our JSW industry. We can manufacture any kinds of the steels, different steels, new type of steels, or you can say etc. 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 All these are alloy. Alloy. Steel is an alloy. Why? Because of the definition. You only can say, na, this is the mixture of what? Tell me, please. See, you must understand, na, what is an alloying, what is an alloying element. Yes, steel is an alloy of example of an alloy, 100%. Now you can tell me, steel is an alloy, then it is a mixture of two or more elements. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Then which are those?
Carbon.
Good. First carbon, then?
Iron.
Good. Iron, carbon, then?
Aluminum.
Okay, let it be aluminum also, we will take some time. Then? Any other elements? Okay. Now I will take.
Magnesium, sir.
Good. Chromium, magnesium. Okay, magnesium. Yes. This is
Iron ore, sir.
This is alloy. These are the alloying elements. Hope you got it now. Right? Say yes or no. Don't keep quiet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope you get an idea now. So alloys. What kind of the alloys are available for our industrial applications? What exactly an alloy? Alloy means it's a mixture of two or more elements, two or more metals combined together to form a new kind of material, a new set of material. Because earlier the steel was not there. Earlier, what we are using, just to go back to 100 years back, we are directly using the iron applications. Just you can look at the old transportation vehicles, engines, and some other machine components. Just 100 years back or 60 years back. So just you can look at the structure of that machine elements. It's very big and very heavy structures because those are all made up of iron materials only. Now this is the new trend, that is what steel, which we are going to since from around about 160 years back, which we can but 100 years back we are inventing the steel, but so it's limelight, and we are significantly we are using the steel in past 60 years. We are significantly which we are manufacturing and using the steel components. The steel is a kind of material. You can say it is an alloy. It's a mixture of different kinds of alloying elements. Because of what? Because of the requirements of the customers and demand from the application. That application is demand these such kinds of materials. So just comparing the iron to the steel, steel is a lightweight as compared to the iron components. Because we are taking all these non-ferrous materials. These are less weight materials. You can take any kinds of the steel from the JSW, which is a mixture of iron, carbon, so aluminum sometimes, or chromium, magnesium. So these chromium and magnesium, so why they are taking this blindly? They can take this all these alloying elements? No, not each and every alloy. Each and every alloying element has its own properties. Suppose I will give you one example. If you are taken the chromium into the steel, the steel wear property will be improved. Each and every alloying element has its own properties that will be contribute to the steel, or that will be influencing on the steel. Especially steel is only the mixture of iron and carbon. That's it. Initially, the steel is a mixture of only the iron and carbon. Later, we are introducing the aluminum, chromium, magnesium like that. Because of what? Because of the property requirements from the component. The property requirements, mechanical property requirements, which you can adding these kinds of the alloying elements. If you are adding the aluminum into the steel, later I will explain. Coming to the steel, first you should understand now the alloy. The steel is the best example for the alloy. These are the alloying elements. This is the alloy. Now one more example I will take for the alloy. What it is? What it is? Hmm?
Brass, sir.
Brass.
Yes, yes. Brass is alloy or alloying element? Hmm?
Alloy, sir.
Alloy, very good. So brass is an alloy. Then which are the alloying elements in the brass?
Copper and zinc.
Very good, Baba. Exactly. Then what it is? Yes, copper and zinc is the brass. Copper and tin, what? Hmm? Hmm? Don't know? What it is?
Bronze.
Yes.
Bronze.
Yes. Copper and nickel? Monel. One more example I will take. Yes. See, brass and bronze are the copper alloys. Say what it is? Brass and bronze are the copper alloys. Basically, these two are the copper materials. Or also what we can say it is copper alloys, because 90% of copper present in this brass. In bronze also 90% of copper is present. So basically what we can say, brass and bronze are the copper materials or copper alloys. Why copper alloys? Because copper is a base at around about 90%. The remaining rest of the 10% is belongs to, if suppose it belongs to zinc, then only we can say it is brass. Or else, rather than the zinc, if you are adding a tin or any other materials, so you can say it is a bronze. But except nickel, if you are adding into the copper, you can say it is an monel. There is some particular proportion is there. If that proportion we have maintained, then only it becomes a monel. Otherwise, it becomes also bronze. Except zinc, you can add anything else into the copper, that will become a bronze. If you want to achieve the brass, only you can take the zinc. The mixture of copper and zinc, that would be a brass. And the brass is a copper alloy. Mixture of copper and tin will be the bronze, or any other things you can take into the copper, that becomes the bronze. This is also a copper alloy. This is the best example of alloy. Brass and bronze and monel, these are the alloys, because mixture of two elements. One is belongs to the copper, is a base material. This is an alloying element. Copper is a base. Here is the Zn is an alloying element. This is an alloying element. Or solvent. This is a solute in chemistry. So this Zn is added into the base. Base is an copper. This is, you can say it is an alloying element. Alloying elements are always based on the selection. Base is also based on the selection. Always base materials are having more percentage. In this brass, the major constituent is a copper and minor constituent is a zinc. Similarly, here also the major constituent is copper, minor constituent zinc. One more alloy I will take. This is what What it is?
Duralium.
Duralium. Duralium. This is also an alloy. This is a mixture of, because most commonly these alloy we are using for domestical applications. Yes. For domestical applications which we are using duraluminum. Have you seen the tatte, lota, domestical applications in our home appliances? Aluminum home appliances. Have you seen? Domestical applications. Have you seen it or not? Buckets, some
Yes, sir. Cookers.
yeah. So cookers, some cookers, aluminum cookers, some so utilities, some what kind of utilities? Kitchen utilities or some domestic utilities which you can use these kinds of materials. That is what duraluminum. This is also an alloy, which is a mixture of
Copper and
aluminum.
aluminum.
Very good. 4% of copper. This is a mixture of 4% of copper. We can say it is a duraluminum. Duraluminum or duralium. Duralium is a alloy, which is a mixture of two alloying elements, aluminum and copper. Here, aluminum is the base, copper is the adding element, that is alloying element. Hope you understand this.
Yes, sir.
I think you get an idea about the alloy. Yes. It's clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear.
That's clear now. Yes. Now we'll move on to in the examinations. You can write it. What do you mean by alloy? So alloy is a mixture of two elements or two metals. In example, we'll give the steel is an alloy. So brass is an alloy. Bronze is an alloy. Monel metal is an alloy. So then duralumin is an alloy. So these are the alloying elements. These are the alloys from the formation of alloying element which can added into the base material. Base material is anything else, and alloying metal is also anything else. But these are all these two metals which we can select based upon our requirement. The steel is also based upon our requirement. Day by day, we are manufacturing the different steels by adding these kinds of alloying elements, by selecting these kinds of alloying elements based on the requirement of the customers or requirement of the particular application that demands the kinds of the steel. Based on that, which we can manufacturing day by day a new set of steel, a new set of alloys. Most of the industrial applications are alloys nowadays. Most of the 90% what we are using now, the industrial applications, domestic applications. You can take industrial applications, you can take any application, automotive, aircraft applications, automotive applications, locomotive applications. You can take anywhere you can take, but most commonly what we are using alloys only, not we are using directly any kind of pure metals. Steel isn't, because we are depending on 90%, we are depending upon steel. So because we are selecting the steels for anywhere we can selecting the steels for various applications which we are depending upon the steel. Steel is an alloy. Let's come to the steel. We will discuss about this. I hope you get an idea about the steels. You can write it in the examinations. Once you can understand thoroughly, you can write it in your own words. When you start writing it with your own words, so this is unstoppable, or no one can control you. It becomes page by page we have started. Now coming to the steel, yes, I will wash out this. Okay. Shall we move to the steel? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Nawaz. Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if Duralium 4% copper, no, sir. Is it
Yes.
standard or as per our
Standard. That's
application?
what I am mentioning that. Why I am mentioning that 4% is if you are adding 4%, then only it becomes a duralumin. Otherwise, we can vary the percentage of copper. Suppose it is less than 4% or it is more than 4%, that will not a duralumin. That will becomes different. That will be different. Suppose if you are putting a less percentage of copper, then you can manufacturing that. Then you can send that component to the market. But that will not give you what the duralumin perfect is giving the properties, because this will be a fail because we are putting less percentage of copper. Because for exactly 4%, we are exactly 4%. We have taken the copper into the aluminum. Now we are making some components that we are sending into the market. Now the people are using that. Yes, that people are using that. They are happy now. They're happy now because that will fulfill their requirements. Right now, suppose if you are once again you are manufacturing that duralumin only. Suppose if you are taking the less than the 4%, if you are taking the copper less than 4%, then you are manufacturing the component. Then you are sending to the market. Then if people start using that, that they feel different. They feel different because that what they are feeling the previous experience that will be different, because that they are expecting their life for 6 months or months, but this will be given only 3 months or 5 months. There will be something happens to that with respect to the service conditions that will not fulfill to the customer demands or customer needs. Then they are complaining. Sir, last year we are purchasing the same components from your shop, sir, but that will be very good. That has very excellent. That was very excellent property. That was excellent that we are using for past 3 years. We are using that component. Nothing will be happen. But one more we are purchasing from your shop only, sir. The same component, but it is only 6 months. This will be doing like this. This will be something. This will be happens like this. What it is? That will be questions and issues will be arising if you are taking less than 4%. Suppose if you are taking it up more than 4%. Though, sir, why? Suppose I am taking a 4%, more than the 4%, 5%, more than the 4%, 5%, property will be changes. How you are adding that is very important. Alloying element copper is a very important. How you are adding the copper percent, how you are rising the copper percent, how you are increasing that copper percent, the property will be improved. That microstructure will be different, because that is what influence now. The copper is totally influencing on the aluminum. If you are increasing or decreasing the percentage of copper values, definitely that will be affected to the aluminum. Suppose you are taking the more percentage of copper, then it becomes that will give the different mechanical properties. Maybe while processing it will be difficult. So while mixing you are mixing for 4-5%, okay, but there will be some mechanical properties which we can expect by making domestic applications. Maybe that material, suppose you are increasing the 4%, now maybe that material will lose that property, because we have to manufacture some kinds of elements now. We have to follow the mechanical properties. If you are increasing the upper percent, the strength will be more. Strength will be more means the ductility will be increases. The ductility will be a little bit increases, or strength will be increases. We cannot bend them easily. Suppose that also I will tell you, if you are increasing the copper content into the aluminum, what happens? Because copper is more stronger than the aluminum. Yes, because copper we cannot drawn into thin wire, sorry, drawn into a thin sheet. Be careful. If you have such kinds of knowledge, definitely you become an engineer. This is what beauty of the material science, beauty of the material knowledge. If you are adding the copper percent into the aluminum, that's what I can mention. It is only 4%. That is called a duralumin. If you are taking the 10%, suppose, what happens? The copper has different issues on different mechanical properties, and aluminum has a different mechanical property. Suppose if you are increasing the copper content into the aluminum, now aluminum, because what is the properties of the copper? Copper is more stronger than the aluminum. Aluminum we can bend easily, we can make into a thin sheet easily, because it is drawn into a thin sheet. Aluminum easily drawn into a thin sheet, but copper, because copper is more stronger than, we cannot bend that copper easily. We cannot drawn into a thin sheet copper. Copper is never deformed like aluminum. It is very difficult to deform in the form of sheet copper. Only we can draw into a thin wire. That's it. Copper we can draw into a thin wire. We cannot draw into a thin sheet. Now, copper content is increased in the aluminum. What happened? Now, this aluminum, what we are manufacturing that aluminum, while making the cookers, somebody said cookers, some structures, some trays are there, some kitchen utilities, some trays, some seats, some patre like that, some buckets, bath buckets. While manufacturing these kinds of the seats, they will not undergo a deformation. They will not undergo a flattened. It's very difficult to flatten them. Cracks and fracture will be formed. I think you understand. Yes. Right?
Yes, sir.
Say right or wrong. Yes. Say loudly. You can say loudly. Why you are? Feel free to talk with me. No, discuss with me. No. Yes. I hope you are getting that. Huh? What's your name? Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
my name is Shashi, sir.
Who is asking that question? It's a good question, right? You keep asking like these questions. That only because what happens if you are not asking this such sections of questions, so what we will have? What is the syllabus? Just only that we will follow that. If you are asking such kinds of questions, then this is the opportunity you can ask such kinds of questions. You can gain the knowledge. Otherwise, what happens? Only the frame, what they are forming that frame of the syllabus. Only we have to follow that. Otherwise, we cannot understand that. This is what I am appreciating it. So by putting like this question, definitely, then only we can share the knowledge. Otherwise, how can just only we can follow the format. Just come out of the format. Okay. Now I will come to the steel. While talking about the steel, yes, steel is an alloy. Here we have a n number of steels. Basically, steel is an alloy. It's combination of iron and carbon, right? The major constituent in the steel is iron. That minor constituent is a carbon. Then tell me how much percentage of carbon present in the steel? Maximum percentage of carbon in the steel. In a variety of steels are available. Let it be. We will discuss one by one. But my question is maximum carbon content in the steel. Anybody knows?
No, sir.
No?
Don't know, sir.
Don't. The steel is a mixture of, yes, right, okay. Steel is a mixture of iron and carbon. First, I will tell you that what kind of material it is. Why we are using these steels for all the applications. We are preparing steel now. Many of the applications which we are preparing the steel, whether it is belongs to low carbon, high carbon, like that. It depends upon the carbon. Steel is basically, technically, which we can classify based on the carbon content. Very important vital role. The carbon is, it has a vital role in the steel. Without carbon, we cannot manufacture the steels. We cannot process the steel. It has a vital role in the steel. Why? Because this will, suppose this is the steel, in this is the iron is the steel is there. If iron present in the steel, what happens? That is the effect of iron in the steel. Effect of iron in the steel. You can expect this strength. You can expect the strength. You can expect the machinability. You can expect the toughness. Also, you can expect the stiffness. If the carbon present in the steel, it may affect in the form of like this. It may affect strength, it may affect permeability, it may affect toughness, it may affect stiffness. Suppose carbon in the steel, how the carbon is affected to the effect of alloying element in steel. If suppose carbon present in the steel, what kind of the properties we can expect? We can expect these kinds of the properties in the steel because present this iron is affecting on steel like this. Strength will be improved, stability we can expect, toughness we can expect, stiffness we can expect. If carbon presenting, what kind of the property we can expect? First, hard. Then, illness. Then, wear resistance. No corrosion. Any other? Anywhere carbon is used. Hard, brittle, wear resistance, no corrosion resistance. Some physical property will be changed. Some physical stability. And also this strength will be no snap. Snap will be so gone out. Yes. No corrosion and physical stability. See, this is very, very important. We have a strength in the steel, but there is no hard. Hardness is different, strength is different. So see, now I am categorized. Strength is different, and in the previous class also I told you that strength is different and hardness is different. Now strength is from the steel and hard is from the carbon. See, where there is a carbon, there is a hardness. Where there is a hardness, there is a brittleness. The combination of these two now we are manufacturing. Now, how many properties which we can expect from the steel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Earlier, only we are using the carbon, only iron components. Only this much we can expect. Suppose in this applications we cannot use this iron. Now you can use this steel in this applications and this applications. It means any kinds of the applications which you can use because of the alloying method, iron and copper. And I think time of madam is waiting for you. Now I will leave this meeting. Tomorrow we will discuss once again about the steel. Detailed information about the steel we will discuss tomorrow. Okay? Now I will leave the meeting. Yes? Yes? I hope you understand this one. Okay? Tomorrow we will discuss again. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome.
Latent